I think calls completely standard. He jams, goes fold fold. Is like just kind of how it's gonna play out a lot of the time. Maybe dude calls a queen queen or jack jack. Bramble probably has like jack jack type hand, just like can't fold queen queen. Okay, yeah, yeah, all standard. You blocked both of it and they still had it. That's crazy, bro. Poker's a crazy game. That's why I drive people nuts. Because it's like I don't know here's the really weird thing about it is like us being here, you know, like us sitting here like with this technology of the internet and being in the year 2026 and all being in the same Discord or finding each other on the same YouTube slash if you compound that with just the odds of it taking us each individually to be alive and to exist on top of everything that I already said, the odds of all that is like just insanely low and insanely. Did you boat up? No, you didn't. So just check react. Yeah. The odds. Okay, yeah, just check call is fine on the river there. Very nice, very nice. So a poker hand happening is like the most likely thing in the world. Based on if you want to compare a simple poker hand happening where like we have ace queen, someone else has ace, and someone else has queens, like that's so likely to happen, like incredibly likely to happen. If you want to compare it to the likelihood of life on this planet even existing in the first place, let alone complex life, let alone like what we have right now. So we're living in, call it like a fairyland of improbability, whereas like nothing that exists right now really should exist. It just happens to. So sure, a poker hand can definitely happen. A poker hand can definitely happen. And it doesn't matter how crazy it looks, because if you just like step back and look at reality as a whole, it's like, no, that shit is way crazier. The fact that we are all here and doing this right now, floating on a rock, flying through space, having our lives affected by the decisions of the rich few that rule this planet. Like, no, that's crazy. This poker stuff, beyond normal. Beyond normal. Like the 0.001 improbable things happening in the game of poker is super normal because of the 0.0000000000001 things that have gotten us to this point. Coming back, everybody. Today we are viewing JJ's video. I'm sorry, I forgot your full name. Sorry, JJ and just a bunch of numbers. So we're going to be doing them just like Finkel's yesterday. Apologies for the delay. And featuring special guest Zoe Doggy. Wanted to be on the lap, so she will be in the video today. So you're going to get two experts giving you advice on micro stakes and element poker. How lucky are you? So we're going to do the same thing like we did yesterday. Jump into it at 2x.
Over the past 6 months, I've really gained understanding.
Oh my, good to hear, good to know.
So I just think this guy's gonna put in pretty much no top pair. If he's a flush draw, he's gonna close well. No snap is good. Snap at death.
It's a little aggressive, low key.
We fade it. Well, no snap.
You could, yeah, actually that's fine, I suppose. I honestly don't even really mind just playing it a little bit smaller slash safer. You could even just raise smaller, and then if a turn card comes club, just kind of give it up at that point, because it's, well, I mean, you can still get it in against a random jack. I don't want to scare him off though with like a 7-8. That's my only problem with jamming right here. So I like the sentiment.
An idea of how this game works. So I just think this guy's gonna put in money pretty much.
I like the sentiment. All right, so we're gonna go maybe a little bit less commentary, just because I want to give you guys more of my analysis and less of listening. So one thing that I do really like so far that we're seeing is the starting of tables. That's very good, and I like that we're also seeing the beginning of their session. So for more people who do these videos, if you could include this part, like your table selecting and this and that, I find it to be very beneficial to see like the whole process. When I do my behind the grind videos, I will show you every little kind of bit of it, and I do like seeing what people are kind of working with mentally for the whole process. So you got some good seats so far, and you're looking for tables everywhere else, and you're playing one person heads up. That's, oh my gosh, get out of here, baby. Get your baby. But yeah, so far so good. Little bet, take it down. I like that. You got two heads up tables going. Now, when you're doing this as well, like you may not, especially when you're doing commentary, for me personally, I don't mind doing 4 tables, starting all 4 tables, but I may not sit empty 4 tables at once because I don't really want to get like a whole bunch of heads up going. Heads up, even a single table of heads up can take a lot of focus. Hold on one sec. Let's see what's going on over here. I gotta get the keyboard closer to me. All right, let's see. Hey, don't be licking, baby. If you're gonna be in the video, you can't be a little licky doggy. All right, so he leads and you call. Interesting. That to me would have been the spot to then like bump it up a little bit, like you did the last time you had queens. Let's go back and see if you tell us why.
Pockets like 5, 6, 7s. But he's not gonna 3-bet all the time. Just check back with the queen deuce off a little bit worse. Pocket queens here pretty good. He's gonna call. He's super short, so it's not really gonna be that hard to get all the money here. I think this bet.
I mean, that's kind of like interesting logic. It's almost like the backwards of what you said slash thought before. I think that when they're leading into, they're going to be a little bit more likely to want to have a hand that kind of is going to go with it, like a draw or a 7. And if he has a 5, he has a 5, so be it. I don't mind a lead out with the 4-9 heads up. Ace 8 off is a little bit of a small open. You could go like 5 BB here, honestly. Same with 3.5. 3.5 seems like a little small, maybe like 4, but it's fine. It's whatever. It's kind of semantics at this point. I just don't like giving my opponents in position a good price. I feel like the more I can charge against an out of position, or when I'm out of position, the the more I can charge for the privilege of being in position, the better. I agree with your decision for the most part to just go check it down. They're probably going to check down like 4-4 or something. Wow, they just gave it up with 7 high, huh? Now, raising 3.5 on the button with stacks this size is like, I don't like that either. I think you should be going the opposite direction. Like when this guy has 30 BB, like there's no reason to not just go min. Like I think we're clearly in min territory at this point. And hand like 10-9 off is just, you're not really doing it for value. You're doing it more as a bluff. And I feel like you're going to get more hands to just kind of call you that you can run over post flop. So yeah, and then when you have to call right there, but you could be getting better implied odds and all that. Yeah, definitely like a C bet with the jack of diamonds and the 8 to kind of back you up a little bit. So now you got a whole bunch of tables going. That's good. That's good. Yeah, 3.5 on the button is like fine, I guess. It's just like it's a little big, bro. I don't know, a little big. I really just I love min so much because I feel like it just gets so much done. It gets so much done for such a great price. You can kind of feel your opponents out too, like while you're still in these early phases, and it gives you like a little bit of a better idea as to how they're gonna be playing against you. People react to min more dramatically than they react to like 3.5x. So right there, you're probably just like getting 3-bet for value, probably. But when you open for min, you get to open more hands. You get to kind of like feel people out a little bit more, like for a better value, I would say, a better price. Wow, queen on table 1 3 times within the first like 5 minutes of the video, 6 minutes of the video. That's crazy. Gonna ISO to 9 is a little small in my opinion. Oh, okay, never mind. These are both checks. Okay, so these are posts. That's fine. I still want to check their stats though and just see like how bad are these players, because they just came in and they are posting. So did like a huge new fish jump in at the table? Because I see that you got 3 new players, but I don't know if you checked their stats. I didn't quite see it. I might have skipped, I might have not gone back far enough to check, but I don't think you saw. So if there's like a 50, 60, 70 VPIP in these new players who are right, then I think you can warrant opening bigger for sure. Because it is a situation where they posted and it wasn't like limps, then I think your sizing is actually a little bit better because they've shown weakness now. Whereas if those were calls, you want to like size up for sure because they've shown interest in the pot by VPIPing and such. Let me get back into it. Down to heads up. It's always unfortunate when the kind of game starts to break before it gets back up big. All right, so let's see very quick here. I can't see anything wrong with this on the surface of it, but I just like to go back and check it out with how the queen hand played out. So you got 2 callers. You bet pretty sizable on the flop. I actually don't even mind betting bigger and just setting up for a turn jam. 17 into 37 is okay. I think more like 27, 26, 27 is a little bit better. Yeah, there's a lot of draws out there. You're luckily blocking a big one with JT. You have 2 outs against Jack 10, so that's really nice. But I think you can charge more. So I would just probably go a little bit bigger and then just try to like maybe jam on a lot of turns. If you do go say 26, then you'll be at a basically closer to SPR 1 against the button, and then you'll be at like SPR 1.5 against the small blind, which I still don't mind just kind of overbet jamming against a lot of turns on. A lot of brick turns like a deuce, a 3, a 4, a 5, maybe an 8 is like less scary than a 9 because the 9 is not only top pair, but the 9 is the off flush card. So 9x of hearts is going to be floating you more often. So you'll just have more random 9x floating you than you will 8x. Whereas if it was inverse suits, the 9 was the heart and the 8 was the spade. You could kind of say the same thing about the 8 at that point. With the aforementioned deuce falling, I think this is like a really great spot to just jam it in. Really great spot to just jam it in. I think going like, see, the problem with this amount right here is you don't get enough money when they don't have, or when they miss the river, And this is like a shocking thing that I don't think most people fully realize. It took me a little bit to realize it by the virtue of doing it. And this is why if you go like 10 more in the flop, it's so much better. Because then they have 10 less in their stack and there's 10 more in the pot. There'll be 90 in the pot. They have 110. It's so much closer of like a 1-to-1 kind of stack to pot ratio. Where right now you're dealing like close to maybe like 1.5 or so, almost 2, because 140 would be 2. So yeah, you're closer to 1.5. But I would still jam here because people will just call you with a raw flush draw, bro. They'll call you with like queen 10 of hearts here. They're never going to fold a king jack of hearts here. Some people will even call with like an ace 7 of hearts here, and you're going to have like ace 5 of hearts here, ace 4 of hearts here. So there's a lot of hands here that just aren't going to fold. And you would think that people would be like, oh no, they priced me out of my flush draw. I can no longer draw. A lot of people don't think that way. And you kind of have to put them to the test to be like, are you the kind of person who's smart enough to fold your draw when you're not getting the right price? And a lot of people are not. A lot of people simply are not. So I think you have to put him to the absolute test. If he's slow playing 9-8, 9-9, 8-8, 3-3, good for him. And they just kind of get to win our stack. And all the other times they don't have that, you get to put max pressure on, charge them the most. And if you find that an opponent overfolds to lines like this, you can then balance it by using your strongest draws against them. And, those can be like your also overbet type hands. So I think that I would go with an all-in number, not like just a committal number. I think the just committal number is fine. It gets you value, but it doesn't get you max value. Now, right here, I actually like I don't even mind checking, bro. I think that there are so many draws out there. You've got, I mean, okay, well, 7-6 gets there, which is unfortunate, but 10-7 misses, Jack 10 misses, hearts miss, random overcards miss, like Queen Jack, which of course you're blocking. And then there is a time when they could just decide, my 9 is good, and I'm gonna bet all in with it because like look at how small the cards are. Like they could just want to go all in with their top pair, Ace 9, King 9, Queen 9, Jack 9 type hand. So you may not even miss value on the 9, but I think there's so many hands in their range that have missed this river. The 5 is unfortunate. It'd be really nice if it was another deuce or like a 3 or an 8 once again, because those hands are way less likely to connect, and the 5 connecting with the 7-6 is less beneficial to you because now they actually have some portion of that range that was drawing that got there, but there's still such a big portion that was drawing that didn't get there that I think check call might actually have more value than betting all in. But because people suck so bad, and they might just call you down with like a 7-5 or like something really random, like an ace 5 of hearts right here, like still might just call your all in. I can never fault someone, but I guess I'd like to say I'd like to consider you seeing the doing the check call. Like when they snap fold, they clearly had a draw that may have considered betting if check to, but when they have the air, they're never going to call. So it's just a concept that's worth considering, and it can apply for more. Oh, what the hell are we doing here? Jack King? What's this? That's a raise. That's a snap raise. That's an auto raise. Folding Jack King from 2 off the button is like a really, really, really. I don't even got to check the solver on that one. That's like very, very off. So that's a snap raise. I guess in games like this too, where you're gonna have weak opposition, like that's a value hand raising. So missing quite a bit of value to auto fold a King Jack right there. That's like a really, really, really surprising play. I would hope that that's like a misclick of sorts or something, right? I almost want to go back and just see if there's any commentary for that because I
So
was not
it was
expecting.
probably just a hand like Jack 10 hard draw that we maybe could have done it all from on the turn, but I think we would have folded out more of his 9x and stuff, so that's why I just chose to go for a sizing that would let me get it all in the river. We're just gonna check and see where we're at real quick. So we're at around 647, which is really good, really good. I went through a few days of break even where I was having some pretty tough time, and I know everybody likes to whine about how they run bad and stuff, but I swear to God, I was running bad. I swear. I also wasn't playing great, so that didn't really things.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not that we all like to complain that we're running bad. It's just that like everyone's going to run bad at certain points in time, and it's kind of like how you let that affect you. It's a good measurement to the type of poker player you are, like the quality of your grit and your fortitude, I would say. So your hint here is pretty standard with the 7-8. Once you flop something so big, it's like you kind of can't really mess up other than just outright folding. So your hand's pretty much fine there. I assume you just jam the turn. I would just jam the turn because there are times when they will just fold a random like ace X hand that you can now because you just never want to get the showdown with 8 high. That's the real thing here. And if you can apply pressure while you still have equity, then that's the best play. So I hope to see a jam here. Sweet, nice. Yeah, I mean whatever, nice. Got him. I mean, he gets there with like a random Jack Queen, which just should never really even be in the hand after the flop because that's just like, what are you doing on that flop by calling with Jack High? So very glad to see you got there. So far, I would say aside from that King Jack fold, so far so good, so decent. Let's like listen to a little bit more commentary.
If he does have a hand like a 10 though, we just stack that, but I'm gonna fold here just because diamonds do come in. So we've got like 3 clean outs, and just fold here. I think ace deuce is fine. I do like opening all my suited aces. Somebody just told maybe to let go of ace deuce and ace through the gun. I just think I'm not saying he's wrong. He's probably right. I probably will start doing that in the future, but I think they are very valuable against most players. No, we do see the Queen Jack versus ace Jack all in. There goes the 80-50.
I think that the suited aces are like an auto open from every position.
Wide. I mean, I figured, but it's nice to have confirmation. Hopefully he's a little tilted after that one.
Maybe if you're in like really, really aggressive games and people are applying a ton of 3-betting pressure to you, you can start letting some of your more marginal hands go.
48, that is about $10 off the highest I've ever been.
I would try to not worry about the balance like while you're playing. That's very distracting to perfect poker play, and that's like kind of your main goal in the moment is to just like do the absolute best you can. I assume you're like checking right now to see if you're like recording or whatever.
Trying to see if you guys can see everything there. I think some of them.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Oh no, the queen's folded. Oh no, it's all good. Don't worry about it. The woes of playing. The woes of playing 4 tables plus creating content. But hey, the ace would have flopped, and you probably would have lost the hand anyway. So we can be results oriented sometimes when it makes us feel better. And now you got a set. What was the pre-flop action with this 9-9? I'm assuming you called, so I don't know if I like donking. Oh, you raised a 7 BB. So that's interesting. You and Finkel both have very small raising habits out of the blinds. Like this is a like I'm going like 15 BB here a lot of the time, like around that range because someone's going to be very loose here and probably call you, but you're probably not going to get like 3 or 4 calls. Like maybe you will, who knows? But I'm going to once again charge people for the benefit of being in position to me. I'm not going to just give them that for free, and you can absolutely get more value here than simply, 7 BB. So you were the PFR. Okay, that's way different. For some reason, I just would have assumed that someone raising you called. But okay, so now we're going to lead out. I would bet huge here. I mean, I know we kind of like represent ace king in this knot, but I would still bet pretty big because people are gonna have like weaker aces and this and that, and just so many draws out there on a board like this. I'm probably going like, okay. Here's the amount to go because we got a shorty in the mix right here who could mess this up for us. So go 21 BB is the exact number. If they weren't in this hand here, say take them out of this pot, and it's like literally like actually no, don't take them out, leave them in because I want the pot size to still be this big, but just give them a full stack. I would make the amount here more like 29 BB because I'm not expecting to get raised here. I just want to like charge them, but because this person's so likely to just jam like a random like ace 5 10 queen type hand, that if you bet out the 21, you get like maybe 1 or 2 calls and then they jam, now you can rejam over that. And if you bet an amount greater than 21, their 42 will lock the action when it comes back around to you, so you will not be able to reopen. So I would go literally exactly 21 here. It's the maximum amount that you can bet for value without locking the action when they jam on top of you. So I would go with that play right there. 19 is good. Beautiful. 19 is great because it's I mean, I think 21 is perfect, but like 19 is still good. Over 21 is like disastrous, but anything under is like it's still fine. You didn't go too much under. Getting raised is just unbelievably amazing. So now you just get to jam and go all in. Life is good. Oh my god, how good is life? Good luck, sir. Queen Jack with the boat up on the turn. So you got to worry about the river. You love to see it. Nice hand, nice hand. Just real quick, I just want to go back. The King 10. We just check fold. Yeah, that's standard. That's standard on that board. Although I mean, not really. Like, because low key, like that's our board, not theirs. What do they bet? Oh, I hate when they bet small like that too. So they bet about 1/3 on that board. Like that board really is us. I don't know if this is. I'm not very well versed in the GTO world post flop. I have so much more of an understanding of it in a post flop and a pre flop situation because that's like really mostly what I've studied, and I kind of just go off of feel for post flop for the most part. But if I were to wager, I would think that the solver wouldn't mind a check raise on boards like this because this board favors us, not them. From a theory perspective, like there's no way that the button range is going to be loving this as much. Like they're gonna have a lot of Queen X hands, Jack X hands, King X hands, Ace X hands, and we as the caller, the defender of the BB, should, in theory, I would wager, hit this board harder than them. So we should freely be able to check raise. And if we only do it with like, hands that have like clear draws and clear backdoor draws, I don't think we're check raising enough against the 1/3 C bet here. I think we actually do have to play a little bit more aggressively, or maybe even like check call donk some turns, or maybe even donk this flop some percentage of the time. So I just think that there's, from a theory perspective, we definitely have to play boards like this. This is like a hit in a weird way where this should favor us so heavily. Now, of course, this is a button range, not like a middle position range. So they are going to have some hands that like do connect with this kind of coordination, this kind of texture, I should say, but we should have far more. So consider fighting a little harder in spots where the range and nut advantage both simply favor us. And they're betting really weak. Like who bets 1/3 here on a board like this with a good hand? Like if you have like a 5/5, a 3/3, a 6/6, or if you really want someone to fold like with a 7/8, are you really betting 1/3 pot? It looks more like a ace 9 with maybe like one heart that just wants to try to take the pot down. So you can apply a lot of pressure to those like people who almost see bet range for 1/3 when in position. Like they don't even really care about the texture as much. I feel like range c betting, because we see bet so small as an average or as a standard these days, has kind of like fallen back into favor because it's just like a mindless thing that people are able to do. So I wouldn't be so opposed to attacking those types of situations. In fact, those are probably the best ones because their range will be the widest, and they've chosen the smallest, weakest size that you can attack freely. All right, let's listen to a little more commentary between the gameplay.
Maybe he just does this when he's short. I'm not quite sure, but good luck to him. I'd love to see him double up. Just not for me. Yeah, he actually almost doubled his stack just from jamming twice, thanks because these antes are so good. Oh, do it one more time, man. Thank you. We're gonna get everything good here. There's no argument about it. Question in my mind right now is rejam or not. These guys are pretty short, so ton to play for.
I've been really in favor of call here so much more frequently, mainly because until you get like really deep, the SPR is never going to be big enough that you are in a bad position with ace ace. Even in the absolute worst kinds of flops, like you're still able to get it in. So if one of these players calls who's like you're kind of deeper with, you'll have an SPR of like 1.5 5-ish, and if multiple players call, you'll have an SPR of 1. So it's like you're in auto jam territory anyway. And you can then represent 8s, 9s, 10s, stupid hands that don't necessarily have to be ace, where when you rejam, now your range is much tighter. It's going to be that aces, kings, queens, ace, king type range. So I am actually a huge proponent of slow playing the AA here.
He's done this a few times, so we might get called a pip on the wider side, but I don't want to go too many ways.
No, why not? Go every way, bro. If you can go 8 ways, you want to go 8 ways here. Because even though you're gonna lose more often, when you win, you're gonna win so much more. So yeah, you want to go multi-way here.
I'm actually just gonna flat here.
Yeah, I love it.
And then I'm just gonna stick it in on pretty much every flop.
Yep, that's the
So
play.
get a call in here. Ooh, really good turn. Got the best turn.
And then of course, like if you just absolutely nail the board where it's like deuce deuce 3, like ace 7 deuce, you can then of course slow play.
And we break it all, and this is not a guy I want to bluff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, well we're getting it in good here. He does hit. Oh, my god. Well,
heartbreak.
You get it in good. That's all you can do.
Yeah, sorry man. That
That's all
sucks.
you can do. That is really aggravating.
No, it really is. It absolutely is.
Yeah, I swear I've been running so bad with aces recently, and I know everybody loves to whine about it. I swear I feel like they never.
Well, A7 off. See, like this is it's actually almost like literally in real time. It shows how feeding negativity into negative variance can like literally affect the quality of your play, because like you're now taking a moment to, very rightfully so. I mean, you lost a 4-way all in pre-flop, getting it in with ace dream scenario. You can't ask for anything more than that. You get sucked out on this. Like every heart had to fall that one hand. I get every element of it, bro. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. But the ability to dismiss it as quickly as possible is what allows us to play the most winning poker, because I'm not sure if you would have missed it naturally, but an A7 offsuit from because you did miss King Jack offsuit earlier, so maybe you would have missed it naturally, but A7 offsuit from the cutoff is definitely an open. So instead of contributing energy to something that like, it's so weird, man, because I'm saying stuff that I know I know everybody knows, but I still have to say it because it's something that we all need a reminder on. But even though it just happened, that ace's hand is in the past. Like it might as well happen a million years ago. It just happened and the pain is fresh, but in the grand scheme of things, you have to just kind of bury it and settle it down and just keep playing all the hands. And it's the only way to really be taking the steps towards being a professional, or at the very least having a professional caliber attitude and mindset when playing the game. Not everyone who plays this game who's in this Discord wants to play poker full time for even any duration amount of time. It's a very grueling thing for anyone who's ever done it. But anyone who wants to play this game usually wants to play it a little bit better if you've made your way this far into our group, onto my YouTube, that kind of deal. So if you want to take those steps to being kind of the best version of you that you can be, you're just going to have to get into the mindset of immediately letting it go as fast as possible so that you don't miss things like this A7 offsuit here. But it does. I can, of course,
so what are we at right now?
sympathize and empathize and agree, and like as your friend slash call it coach for the moment, like yes, we can commiserate that shit sucks. It's almost like I'm not saying you can't, you just have to like ignore it entirely, but it's almost like you put it away, and at the very end of the session, once you're done playing, then go back and review it. You review your recording, this and that, and like when there's no more hands to be played, and when you're looking at the recording, then you can be like, man, fuck this shit. Like this game sucks. Like you can kind of get it out of your system then. You can kind of complain about it then, you can bitch and moan then, because it's human nature. Like no one wants to lose money when they play the game of poker. Everyone sits down to win money, even if you're a bad player. Now you may not know how to win money as a bad player, but you still want to win money as a bad player. I just want to rewatch this King 4 hand here while I talk, so I want to see how we got there. So yeah, that's fine. Overcall, because we're getting 5-1 pre-flop. So good call. That's actually a really good spot to not like under defend. A lot of people will absolutely under defend there. That's a huge C bet. You may be able to scare him out of there, bro, if he checks back this turn. Well, actually, no, you have showdown value, so you don't even need to. You don't even need to. I was thinking like maybe against like aces, kings, queens, but like he has so many overcards, you can literally just like check and try to get the showdown. He has an overpair. He's value betting you, and it's like that's what I was thinking about. Maybe we can try to. Oh my god, bro! Check raise the river there is so sick. Oh my god, bro! Check raise the river there is so sick, because it's obvious he has the aces, kings, queens, jacks type hand. He bet big on the flop, which looked like a protection bet. It looked like either protection or like big draw. When he checks back the turn on the 4 straight, he looks scared. But now when the deuce hits, he's more confident. He can value bet against 5-4, 6-5, 6-4. So now he has a range of hands that he can bet. But notice the sizing, bro. He bet a bet fold number. He bet like a quarter pot, 20% pot. Oh my god, if you check jam that river, he definitely folds. Like 100% definitely folds. That's a bit of an Omaha-ism that I've learned, recently, just like the I think I was talking about that in Finkel's video. He had one hand where the dude had really really weak trips, and on the river a flush card got there and he bet like a quarter pot, and it just felt like if we jammed on him he would have been like at least shitting himself. I can't guarantee a weak player would fold. I think the guy had like 46-17 stats, so like who really knows if the guy would actually have mucked his trips when the flush comes in, but he bet like he would have wanted to. That's all I can say. Like he didn't bet confidently, he bet like he was bet folding. This guy right here bet like he was bet folding. So it's almost a really sick ass spot, bro, where you can like check to get value, or not to get value, but like just to earn your showdown against your ace king, ace queen, king queen type hand that doesn't want to bluff. And then you can also check raise when they bet like this, bro. That's kind of sick because you really can represent the three. You really can represent the three. Like you defended from the BB. You have more threes in your range than literally everybody. Literally everybody. You have ace three, 4-3, 5-3, 6-3. Like there's no reason why. And then 3x of diamonds. There's no reason why you can't. You know, like if you can have king 4 diamonds, you can have king 3 diamonds. You can have queen 3 diamonds. You can have maybe even jack 3 diamonds. You're getting 5-1 pre-flop. So it's not even. Oh well, he has the jack, but you know what I'm saying. So like 7-3 diamonds, for example. So I actually think check raise this river is sick. This is sick. I'm not a huge proponent of just like jamming it in there, you know, recklessly, but I have enough data anecdotally admittedly that I really do think that this is a play that's worth at least considering, and it's something that I would absolutely do myself, because I've seen enough people bet and then just like they're betting here because they're not confident. They're betting that size because they're not confident. If they were betting way bigger, then I would expect them to feel like they're priced in too often and then they can't fold. But when they bet this amount, they're doing it so that they can feel, you know, priced out. They're still leaving themselves with 165 BB. If they get jammed on, that's too much for them to want to just call it off on a 4 straight with a 1 pair. So most people are probably going to fold their overpair here, which is what they really are representing every street of the way. So interesting hand, actually, really interesting hand. I kind of actually real quick just want to like
Card 3 doesn't get anymore. I'm just gonna check one time. Hope he gets showdown. I don't really think there's too much worse to get value with from, but super aggressive, so I am gonna call here.
Yeah, so what was his super aggressive
I'm just
numbers?
gonna
I
check one
would like
time.
to see
Hope he
his
gets showdown. I don't really
stats
think there's too
again.
much worse to get value with
Yeah, pretty aggressive. Pretty aggressive. He could have missed diamonds
from.
that don't have the pair. Like, well, the problem is like the ace of diamonds is going to check back a lot. So because ace has showdown value, you hold the king. So queen x of diamonds, jack x of diamonds, 10x of diamonds, 9x, 7x. I can kind of see it. Like, I don't hate it, I suppose. 7-8 gets there though, and he couldn't also have a 3 no, less 3s himself given his PFR position. Really ace 3 is like the only one. Maybe suited king 3.
But super aggressive, so I am gonna call here for the small bet. He does have jacks, that sucks. This is close with the ace of clubs. I think we call here.
I think the yeah, I just don't think that he
Yeah.
has weak stuff in his
That
range to
is
warrant the
very
call.
right stop
And this
betting.
ace 10 down here, I'm not so sure about that either. Ace of clubs is fine and all, but it's not that impactful when you have bottom pair and a gut shot, really, like, you know, because backdoor clubs is like so you consider that one out typically, like for your backdoor, and you're only getting 3. You're getting 3 to 1. Okay, so that's not terrible. The real problem is his bet looks really strong, so you're probably gonna have to face a turn bet and a river bet. And okay, so now you're getting 4 to 1, right? Because you got the other guy overcalled. That's, yeah, it's not horrible, but it's like it could be losing though. That's all I'm gonna say is it could be losing by a few BB of EV. It just smells. I don't have the data to back this up. I don't have any math to back this up. I'm not gonna do an EV calculation right now because frankly I'm not very current on how to do EV calculations on paper, you know, without the solver's help. But I don't feel like this is a very. It just doesn't intuitively. It doesn't feel like a winning call. It feels like it's slightly losing. That's all I can really say right here. So take my advice. I'm sorry, my camera is literally blocking. Okay, it's an ace on the river. Sorry, my camera literally blocks. Oh, I can just look into my my OBS. I didn't even think of that. Okay. Yeah. I think check fold was the right play anyway. I think check fold was definitely the right play. It's just too dangerous of a board. Also, ace king is out there. Also, jack x is still out there. Randomly, I know, but yeah. And did you raise to 7 BB again? You guys, your small B opened. It's all good. Raise to like. So I was saying this exact same thing in Finkel's video yesterday. Raise to minimum right here. Say it folds to you. Raise to like 6 BB or 8 BB. When you have a button limper, or even then say you have the small blind come in, guaranteed 8 BB minimum. Then we have the button limper in here. I bump it up to 12 BB. I had 1 BB for the limper, or sorry, I had 1x, you know, 2 BB, one straddle. You know, for the limper, and then I add one more straddle for the fact that they're in position. And then because you have an additional limper, I would add one more straddle. So I would go here like 12 BB plus one more straddle. So I'd go 14 BB here. You can even round that up to a nice even 15, like we did before when I recommended with the 7-7 from out of position. Just go 15 BB here. You have a great hand. You're dominating a ton of their range. They're going to call you with a whole bunch of stuff, charging from being out of position. 14 and 15 is an inelastic difference. Meaning every hand that they are going to call you with 14, they're going to also call 15. Like, it's not like you're going to change anything. What the hell? He min 3-bet? That's scary as hell. That's scary as hell. Wait, but whose stats was that? Was that his stats for 80 something? That's actually wild. Yeah, I guess calling is the play right there, but that's really weird. That's really weird because you're in a spot where it's like you're either weirdly enough way ahead, way behind with even like a pre-flop scenario. Yeah, he isn't. I really almost not. I want a four bet for value. I want a four bet for value. Yes, we can be owning ourselves versus. Okay, so what size did he make it? He made it 12 BB. I kind of want to make it like 30. You don't have to, but it seems so weak. Like he's got such an absurdly wide range. We can make the SPR like okay. We could actually bloat the SPR, try to get him to call us with a hand like Jack 10, Queen Jack, and then just jam in a whole bunch of flops. Probably not this one. Maybe this one actually because we have the Queen of spades. But if you come back over the top pre-flop, say you made it 7, you had a call, the dude made it 12, and then the other dude also cold called, and they're not really representing anything strong. No one here has represented a hand stronger than you except for maybe the limp re-raise. I mean, he did limp and then re-raise, I guess, yes, but he's got the most crazy stats we've ever seen. So you go like 40, and then we have to just call it off when he jams, don't we? Oh man, this is a weird spot, and this is why playing with the bankroll is so important because like sometimes you're just gonna come across a maniac who you have to kind of like get it in with. I honestly I don't want to like as risky as it is and as gambly as it is, I don't want to let them get away with like just being weird right here with a subpar hand. So I'd rather take the risk that they are an 85-50 and they showed up with a better hand than me than they're an 85-50 and they're just fucking around right now. I'd rather take the risk that they just happen to cooler me, and I'm not going to let myself get kind of pushed around by someone who's got insane numbers. So I think the proper play here is to ignore the other two players effectively and just kind of go like 100 BB. Just go 100 jam every flop, or go like maybe you can try to leave yourself with a little bit of fold equity on the flop and go like 80 BB pre and just jam every flop basically. But I think that we're too far ahead of his range, even his limp min 3-betting range, to let them kind of just get away with this is the best way to word it. And there's certainly merit for like trying to feel out your opponent a little more. You can always use the check hand feature if it doesn't get to showdown and like see where they're really at. But there's also something to be said about missing your chance in poker. Sometimes you only get one chance to destroy a fish. Sometimes you only get one chance to put all your money in with ace 10 when they have ace 5 and they'll call it off. Sometimes that's it. You only get the one chance. They bust, they leave, they this, they that. And so to deny yourself of that one chance can be, I like, dare I say hyperbolically, catastrophic. That can be catastrophic to miss these chances, because while we could be setting ourselves up for failure, while we could be completely owning ourselves and going in like purely on their whim, they check min raised, haha, they got us, bro. Now their ace king is going to crush us. Sure, that is going to happen some percentage of the time, but the fact that they have, 250 hands is enough hands, and they've been playing 85 VPIP with over a 50% PFR, there's too much nonsense in their life, in their range, in their heart, to let me just kind of give them respect. They haven't earned respect yet. They've earned disrespect, in fact. They've earned disrespect. So you have to give them, you got to give them disrespect, bro. You got to give them disrespect. Oh my God, bro. You got it. Yes, it hurts, bro. It hurts to see. Because it's like, if you make it like 80 to 100 BP there, he's probably not folding pre-flop. Like, probably not folding pre-flop. He will fold on the flop, though, when he has jack high. So that's why I like 80 more than 100, because when he's got 100, he sees 100 and then he sees 200 in the pot, like, eh. But and like, that's exactly their thought process. But if you make it 80 pre and there's 160 in the pot, and then you bet like 120 all in, they're gonna be like, that's their thought process for sure. And they're like, I'll just save my 120 BB. Haha, I got you, bro. I didn't stack off with jack high. I only put 80 BB in pre-flop with it. And it's like, cool, bro. Thank you. We appreciate it. So yeah, I don't think you can let that person get away with it. And it hurts to do it, because it's like, oh, we're gambling here, aren't we? It's like, yes, we are. That is the inherent nature of a game like poker, is you are going to be doing a lot of things with uncertainty. Oh, horrible river, man. I like the way you played the hand up until the river. I wouldn't bet here, though. That's just... Let's listen to the thought processes here on table one.
Against Tree Man here, we just have thick value.
Actually, my bad. Let me go back to proof. Okay, so yeah, you raised three. It's kind of crazy how many hands that I thought you were the PFR. I thought you were the caller because of the pot size. C-bet, standard.
Against Tree Man here, we just have thick value. I'm probably just gonna barrel this all the river. No, they took our spot.
Yeah, but like once that river hits, though, I don't know, man. Because like now we're not getting value from 7x. Now we're not getting value from Jack 10 as easily. Now we're not getting value from like 5-6 that just like wants to call us down, and we're getting owned by clubs. So So I just don't love this river bet.
Probably not gonna go for something like 38.5. Target worst Jack X. And then just we're folding to raise 100% of the time when clubs come in like that.
If you want to target a hand like that, I think it's fine to go like the homie did before to you with the Jack Jack. Just do quarter pot right there, or like 20% pot, because that way you actually can conceivably get looked up by like 7x, 5x, Jack X, and people really are not going to be as ambitious enough as I would want us to be against those sized bets. Most people are just going to play pretty face up. They're not going to raise us at the nearly the frequency that they should. So even though you're exploiting yourself and you're exposing yourself, I guess you could say, from an EV perspective, I like the more exploitable sizing of small. I just think that size right there is just too damn big, bro. It's just too scary on that texture.
I just don't, yeah. I just think we're pretty much never good versus raise, but otherwise, I think so. Stable's getting a little tight, but I don't really want to leave Tree Man here. I've played with him a lot. He's not very good, but we're gonna say goodbye to Tree Man.
I think you can call the ace 3 there. Ace wheel card that's not a deuce is pretty strong. They're giving you see the other guy called too with 6 VV. Yeah, you're getting over 5 to 1 on your money. You got to call there, and you're still like deep enough with most people. Even the PFR, you guys are like bordering 20 to 1 implied odds behind. 12 to the 199. So you're like 18 to 1 or so implied odds on your call right here. I think that you got enough equity. Like you also have the button too. So on the chances that like say everyone checks to you and it's like a 6-4 deuce board, you can like bet. Or if it's like Jack 7 deuce with one club, you can bet. Queen high boards favor the caller, so you can represent those. I think that there's just a lot of ways you can win this pot without just directly hitting the nut flush. And also, I just want to go back here. So yeah, if at a certain point, instead of like leaving this table one, you had a window where you could have taken the seat. I'm like just going back to see how long it was open for. So the person who is T free man on the button currently on table one, they're at 75 VPIP. And you could have you had a good, was it like 10, no, sorry, 4-hand window. You had a 4-hand window. And I mean, I know this is tough to do in real time, especially when you're like doing the recording and everything, but you did have a window with which you could have taken that seat. And instead of leaving that table / leaving the fish altogether, you could have taken the seat and then just like repositioned yourself. So consider that for the future as well. Consider that for the future.
We shark. We're just gonna go for the 6x. Could even go for the 7x. I think 6x is plenty big here. Yeah, I figured you'd probably score. Don't you love to see it? Yeah, this is bad.
Almost always.
Just because it is a 3-bet pot.
Yeah, I don't mind checking. It's not because it's a 3-bet pot, it's because it's a multi-way 3-bet pot. If it was actually heads up, then I think that betting is like pretty good, honestly, because people will still look you up with like 8x, Jack Jack, Queen Queen, 10 10, 9 9 type hands. So you can bet at like 1/5, 1/4 pot, and then just like try to get the showdown. Or like if they snap check back the turn, if they snap check the turn to you, you check back the turn. If they check to you, then you check back, and then they quickly check the river to you. You can then consider maybe going for another value bet, but you can then often just check back the hand as well, depending on how the board develops.
Checking. No, he bets out. Okay, so nobody has an ace.
At this point, I don't mind going for like maybe the bet fold small, maybe like 25 to 30% pot, and try to earn ourselves a free showdown. And you could even maybe bet call against the guy to your direct right. He could conceivably shove like just a queen or a draw. So you could go maybe like bet fold 30, 33 against the first guy who has you covered, but bet call against the guy who you cover. I actually think that's like a really solid plan. It's a good call it like it's a value protection type bet where you're getting value from one guy and you're protecting yourself against the other guy.
But okay, ace of diamonds. You know what? If you're gonna put an ace out there, put 2.
Ugh, gross. It's a fine spot to just call. I don't think that calling is going to be losing money here. It just sucks. That's my analysis.
When he checks ace, right? Because I'm thinking about all in here.
Oh, I'm not. That's just an overrepresentation of your hand. I mean, I don't think we're going to get called by Queen X, and I think you're going to be just completely owning yourself against Ace X. So like, I would certainly not be doing that. I was hesitant to even want to call, but I think we just kind of have to call here because we're at the like top of our god damn it, we have to call type range here. This is like about as good as it's going to get for as weak as it's going to get for as in those types of hand category. Sorry if I wasn't really clear about that. I know it's a little muddy, but our hand's just too strong overall. I guess like if we fold here, we're overfolding. We're going to be too exploitable if we fold king here, just to this size bet. But I don't think jamming is a play at all.
I think Queen X might get to me.
Yeah. And like there's just no. I just don't see the value, man. Like king queen would be like the one hand that we'd want to get value from. We're double blocking that. So are we really expecting them to call with queen jack, with queen 10, you know? And then there is 8-8, there is 3-3, there is queen queen, and then of course ace x. So I think that calling is like good enough, like plus EV. Where before, like say that ace 10 call on table 4, where I was like, I don't think this is plus EV, but I can't really justify it with numbers. In this exact same instance here, I think calling here is plus EV, but I cannot justify it with numbers. It's just I have an intuition. And my
Like
intuition's
I said,
usually pretty damn
well,
good about that kind of thing. That's why
I would sometimes
I
argue
feel confident enough to
against all
like
players
give
because they do
advice,
that,
even if I'm not 100% sure,
if you're
because
really
I
nice to
do
do that.
feel like I have a
Or
really
ace 10 off,
decent
maybe you could call. I am gonna fold this time. We do have top 2 over here.
feel on the pulse of
And
the
like I said, we just pick up almost
theory of
everything else because
poker.
it really just does come right back. I think this is gonna be a block. Trying to see straight.
Slip.
I'm just gonna raise here. I should have gone smaller in case he jams.
Let me go
And like I
back
was
here
saying,
just to
just pick
see.
up almost everything lost from this. It really just does.
Actually, real quick, I just want to see your ace 10 hand.
And it's really nice to win there on that board. Ace 10 off. Maybe you could call. I am gonna fold this time. We do have top 2 over here with ace king, which is wonderful.
I agree. I think that's fine. I'm so sorry. I can keep going back. I assume we raise pre-up. So you have the same PFR in position that you do out of position. That's a little bit weird. Most people definitely would increase it from out of position. So like that's just like the big thing that I would adjust straight away from you. It's kind of funny that you and Finkel both have the same adjustment. Also bet way bigger on that flop. That's a huge mistake that I see a lot of people play or make is they treat textures like king jack 8 with a flush draw the same that they treat like king 7-3 without a flush draw. It's like the size that you chose right now is for a dry board. This is not a dry board. This is an extremely draw heavy board. There's too many things to even name out there. You know, diamonds 10-9, queen 9, queen 10, like just so many random things out there that like are going jack x, like that you don't want to give equity to, that are going to have additional backdoor draws like jack queen, jack 10, jack 9. So you want to charge in this spot. You definitely want to charge. And like that's not even talking about the times where you're going to dominate someone with king queen, king 10, king 9, who's just going to pay you off twice, who thinks you have like maybe a draw or whatever. So like, not betting, like this is borderline overbet territory. Like you could conceivably bet like 30 to 35 BB here and it would be theoretically fine. Now, the fact that you block king X with your ace king is the only thing that really sucks about that. Like if you had a hand like 8-8, jack jack, jack 8, especially jack 8 because of its vulnerability and if it's unblocking of the top pair, or say ace ace also unblocks top pair, like hands of that strength and magnitude, those are like your clear cut absolute, you can in theory overbet here no problem. With this hand, you're like bordering on that because it's still so damn strong that like I think betting 30 here is better than betting 7. So bet closer to full pot, if not over the size of the pot when you get a texture like this. This is almost like the perfect texture too because it's connected and coordinated, but not like super coordinated. It's not like it's a king queen jack board where it's like that 8 not being a 10 or a jack, or sorry, a 10 or a queen or a 9, like really helps with your equity overall because it forces them to have a slightly more disconnected hand more often. So, or you bet 8.6, I'm sorry, not 7, but still, yeah, you want to go way closer to full pot right there, if not over the size of the pot. And then let me just check this out. It's a little 3-3 hand. You raise pre, and then you guys check back that flop. That's fine. Checking back that flop is perfectly fine, but I hope you find a bet on that 5 turn because that's a really easy bet to miss. But when check 2 twice, super clear bet with even like weak ace highs here, honestly. And you can be doing it for value too against hands like 7-8, 10-8, 10 queen, random hearts, random overcards. So when check 2 twice on a board that like really clearly hasn't hit your opponent, and when the bottom card pairs and when they check twice and when the board is kind of draw heavy and they have checked twice to you, it's usually pretty likely that they don't have anything. They're not like slow playing a random, you know, bottom pair because there's nothing to really have here. There's no like, it's not like a 3-4-10-9 board where they can like have like a ace 3 or whatever. Like there's really not much connectivity to have right now. So this is a great spot to bet with your 3-3 and I hope that we see that. Did we not? We did not see a bet with the 3-3. That's okay. But hopefully in the future you do that. And now we got a lead out for 12 BB. Oh, okay. That's actually whatever. I think there's a great raise vomit spot where if we raise and get 3-bet, we can like literally puke. Probably fold, but literally puke. But I think raising is great here. So let's go try to do something similar to what we were talking about before, where if we raise in the shorter stack jams, it doesn't lock us out of the betting. So like the last thing you want to do here is to raise to say 52 BB. If you raise to, sorry, 51 BB. If you raise to 51 BB and he jams, it will not reopen the betting because he would need to have 102 exactly. He has 101.6. So you would want to raise to around 50 BB, like 50, 49, 48. Like those numbers are great right now because they allow the other guy to rejam. Then you can the other, if then laser, I can't really read his name, laser comes along, you can then jam over the top of him or consider re-raising over the top of him if you would like. It's an option that you have, and I think it's one that you might even want to consider taking a decent percentage of the time, given that people, when they have queen 10 right here. So yeah, queen 10 right here. They often get very overzealous, and then when you raise, the other guy jams, they will often come back over the top of you, seeing how deep you are, and they will not want to let a diamond come off the board pair, yada yada. So I think that it's actually a really good spot for a raise react. Ooh, 60 is too big. You don't want to do the lock. Yeah, you locked it. So if guy jams, if day jams, laser is able to then like kind of call with diamonds, getting almost the proper price, and now you can't re-raise over him. In fact, he's getting really close to the proper price. So right now there's 123 in the pot. If homie jams, it's gonna be 224, about 90 to call. So he'll be getting like around 2.5 to 1. You're probably gonna call, so he can assume that you're gonna put in another 40 BB. So really he's getting closer to 3 to 1, and that means on the river he's only got to make about 1.5 more to 1 on this exact call right here, which would be 90. So he has to make about 130, 140 BB when he hits a diamond, which against a lot of people in this field, it's pretty reasonable. When you have 376 behind that, he can make about 1/3 of that. So I would definitely have made it, like I said, I'm gonna make 50 just so we don't get locked out this time right here. I'm kind of curious what you're saying while you hover your cursor over him.
This really just does come right back. I think this is gonna be a block. Trying to see straight. I'm just gonna raise here. I should have gone smaller in case he jams, so I can rejam.
Cool. So you knew.
Pretty much just playing this like I have the nuts, and then
Cool. Great hand.
whatever will be will be.
I'm glad that you realized it immediately, bro.
Oh, with a jack too. I got called really light on that one.
Sick, bro.
Yeah,
Gift.
despite the aces getting
A gift from the poker gods after you got fucked on that aces hand.
Sometimes you just gotta zoom out and look at the bigger picture, and right now the bigger picture is coolers happen. If you play good poker or whatever the hell you call what I'm doing, money comes back. Facing 2 big blinds with the jack of diamonds, we are just gonna call here.
Agreed. Yeah, you never want to fold. I mean, you can even maybe call the 5 EB on the turn, but you could be also drawing dead, so I think that folding is fine in that instance. Yeah, I mean, I know you said you're a couple years in at this point, honestly, and you also like the bulk of your growth has come over the last 2 years, or sorry, 6 months. So yeah, just keep it up, man. If you just treat the next 6 months like you did the last 6 months, I cannot see your progress stagnating at all. Just small things that I would want to see fixed, like your PFR sizes, maybe some of your RFI, and it seems like a lot of people really do have very similar leaks at the micro stakes. Just the hands that people choose to raise with and the size of which they choose to raise seems to be not enough hands that they're raising and too small when they do raise. Like, is a really really common trend. So it's easy for me to notice these types of things because of that, and as a result, it's very easy I think for you guys to fix them because we've kind of come up with the solution like right off the bat. But a lot of your instincts for post flop play are pretty good. That like king potentially jamming was like a weird thought when that ace hit the river on the ace X queen ace hand. Like that's a little overzealous, so like maybe rein it in a little bit. But overall, I'm seeing a lot of good, man. I'm seeing a lot of good. Like most people who are winning poker players, who are like studying poker players, are like really so much closer than I think that they realize and think to the next step, or like being kind of where they want to be. Variance, as we've seen in this video already, can be such a mind fuck, where you're like doing everything that you believe in your power to be the best that you possibly can, and then like you just kind of keep getting boned over and over again. It's like, am I doing the wrong thing? Am I playing too aggressive? Am I not playing enough? Am I doing like what exactly is going on here? And sometimes it really is just the coin landed on heads 10 times in a row, and it's just that simple. Like it should have been an equal split of 50-50, but it wasn't. It was heads 10 times in a row. And like, is that crazy? Yes. Is it possible? Also yes. So it's very easy to fall into that kind of thing. Very very easy. I think literally every poker player has gone through it multiple times. The more that they have, like, even the best in the world, I would be shocked if their human nature didn't get to them. Say people who have been in the game forever, who are like at the top of their world. Like I bet even like an Andrew Roble, who like all we ever really see is him crush high stakes live stream cash games. I bet he's been through more streaks than any of us put together. Maybe not any of us, because there's a lot of people in this group, but you know what I mean. Like he's probably gone through, I mean, for financially speaking, I'm sure he's swung more money than any of us put together, and has had to like talk himself out of, like, I'm still a winning player, I'm still crushing, I know that I have an edge against these players, I just have to stick it through. Like he's probably told himself the exact same thing that we have. I'm sure Alan Keating's had those conversations with himself. I'm sure the big tournament players like Daniel Negreanu, even maybe the great Phil Hellmuth has had to tell himself that. The great Phil Hellmuth. I like to be like serious though. Like I bet you have people like Prodigy right now, like Linus Love, like the old school guys like Phil Ivey or Patrick Antonius that have had to be like, yes, I am still a winning player. I am still a winning player. I can crush all of these idiot Americans. I am positive that they've had these conversations with themselves because the game is too harsh, man. The game is too harsh for you to not go through that. Like that's why it's such a I don't want to say good game. It's good for testing a human. Like it depends on like what your goal is. Like if you're trying to put a human through like stress resulting in you can just fold the Jack 10, bro. It's like a huge ass raise. If you're trying to put a human through, I like the 3-bet, although same concept as before. You don't want to have that guy you don't want to call jam and then have it be locked. So I think you might have gone a little bit big because it's gonna be 28 on top. He has once he yeah, so he only has 54 BB total and 28 on top of your 36. Oh wait, is it exactly 54? Oh my god, it's exactly 54, bro. It's exactly 54. I think you got lucky down to the BB, or maybe if you size it like that perfectly, then great job. But with the ace queen, yeah, you don't want to make it so that Bramble calls and then Logan jams, and now you're locked into calling. Where I think if Logan jams, you can now actually reopen and rejam on top. So well sized if on purpose, and if lucky, cool. Oh my god, vom it. Cold call, sorry, not cold call because we're the razor. So call is okay. We're getting an insane price, 4-1. Wow, 4-1. Fold is obviously reasonable because his range is gonna be mostly ace, king, aces, and kings. He doesn't have a lot behind. That's just I think it's really hard to fault someone either way right here, honestly. If he has aces, he made it a really good number. If he has kings, you have odds to hit an ace alone. If he has ace king, you have odds to hit a queen alone. So you're really only fearing aces in this exact instance, which you block with one. There's only 3 combos left. I would never fault anyone for calling here. I would never fault anyone for folding here. I would fault someone for jamming here. I think jamming is way too overzealous. And yeah, they were like a 39-20 or whatever. Like that's aggressive, but this is also a cold min 4-bet effectively. I mean, min would have been like 28 plus, like what do we say, 450 something. So this is like more than min exactly, but it's still effectively a click back in your face. So it's about as strong as it gets. Me personally, right here, right now, I probably fold because it just looks so damn strong. But if you want to gamble, you can go gamble. I'm not going to fault someone for gambling. In fact, I probably should have more gamble in me, and I probably should want to call here more. But I think that I would probably. Oh my god! Once a guy calls, then you have to call. Then you have to call. Once you're getting 5-1, now you absolutely have to call. So that's just a fact. So okay, before when it was 4-1, it's like whatever. But now with 5-1 and position, you absolutely have to call. So and just kind of play your odds. Like sometimes you're going to hit a flush, sometimes you're going to straight, sometimes you're going to 2 queens, sometimes you're going to hit whatever. But yeah, he is gonna have aces a lot, and we are gonna just straight lose a lot. So that's just a thing. But yeah, I think call is just fine here / standard. If you make a tight fold, I wouldn't like fault you either once again because the dude just has like no money behind. But now we also can like cooler the other guy. Now we're getting into a weird ass territory where we can cooler the other guy, and we probably can't. No, this guy has too much money for us to lose to stack off to him, but then double up through the other guy. Like we can't profit this hand if we lose a stack to the 4-better, but we can recoup some losses at least in EV. If we say we get like a 3-way all in, we lose to the guy who 4-bets, but we beat the guy who called. So like we've gotten into a really interesting situation. If we were 400 BP deep, we actually could have potentially profited in the hand. I don't love the double barrel. I actually don't even like the single barrel low key, bro. You have backdoor draws, which is like fine. It's just a really dry board. And when you bet twice here, you're not even sure if you can bet them off their hand on the river. So it's just like you're not defining anything. You're not getting value. You're not really even getting worse to fold. So like I would just try to get the showdown with the best ace high. I would just check it back on the flop. I would just probably then check. Maybe like if check 2 on the turn here, you could maybe consider betting because this is like one of those spots where we were talking about before where yeah, someone might be slow playing of like a bottom pair type hand, but if they check 2 quickly, they could easily also have overcards. They could have a draw here. Like your ace high now turns into a potential value bet when check 2 twice, but when check call once after calling preflop, I think they just hit this a little too hard to want. Again, unless you're gonna go all 3, and like now we can't on this board, but if you're gonna go all even then going all 3, it's like you're gonna get called by 10x so much and 9x, and then when the draws hit, they're gonna have them a lot. Whereas like they're almost like balanced by nature, like they're almost balanced by virtue of having a wider, maybe not wider, but like their calling range is gonna widely consist of these middling cards and these middling hands. Where on this board we just don't have a clear path to plus EV. So I would probably would just have tried to get the showdown from the get go. Like, who the hell knows what he has? You know, queen. Does he have queen four and we can bluff him? Does he have spades that just got there? Does he have top two pair? Like, who the hell knows? It's such an undefined spot that I really don't love the line overall. Whereas if check two twice, I think betting once on the turn to try to get some value slash earn a free showdown. You know, people typically check to the person who bet last or raised last is fine, but double barrel is like a little overzealous. So I would say maybe like that would be like one other theme that I've seen so far with like your play would be a slight willingness to put a little too much money in the pot in certain instances. So I'd maybe like just, and this is such a general thing to say, but like when you have that gut feeling of, am I being a little too loose, a little too aggressive? I would advise you to rein it in and to dial it back. And then through time, maybe you go a little too much in that direction and then you have to open it back up. But I would say right now you've opened it up a little too much. I still think back to that hand where you considered jamming with the king king. Like that just shows like a fundamental lack of ranging an opponent accurately to even want to consider it. So, and then just like you also called before with the with that bottom or middle pair type hand, I think it was ace four of diamonds when the guy had jack jack. It's like the thought to call there and to not raise or to just fold against his obvious like value bet, it just shows a willingness of like putting in a little too much money. Because I can't say you're doing it aggressively, I can't say you're doing it passively. Just like overall though, like your game in general, like you have a decent instinct. Like the way that I was saying before that I have a very good instinct for like what GTO typically likes. I would like to see you get closer to that instinct as well. I would like to see you play with the trainer more. If you have GTO Wizard, play with the bot more. Like just go into trainer mode and like have it just give you scenarios over and over again, and like you just to try to guess what the right answer is. I find that to be more beneficial than studying the charts. And then if I'm in a situation where I'm like, okay, I don't know what the weakest hand here that would raise. Like say you're in a position where you know you're on a spot where you don't know if the solver wants you to open raise here, or you don't know if they want you to three bet or fold or whatever. You can easily just make your decision. It'll tell you right or wrong, and then you can click the study button and it'll open that range right in the spot. You can study, be like, okay, what else do I open here? What else do I fold here? What else do I three bet here? And like that for me got me very comfortable with kind of solver land. Whereas if I just click the charts first and put scenarios in randomly, for whatever reason, it doesn't resonate with me as easily or as deeply, I should say. Whereas if I get a decision wrong, or if I have that like feeling of I don't know what to do here necessarily, that's what sparks the curiosity that then craves the answer. So that when I get the answer, it's like I'm fulfilled and I have grown from that. Where if I go for the answer first without the question in hand, it's kind of like throwing just like ideas at a cork board. You know, you're just like, okay, I should do this here, but I might forget it. I should do this here, but I might forget it, because I was never really pressured to know when do I or what range do I play in this exact instance. So for me, going the opposite way has helped me a lot more than just studying the chart straight up. All right, little Zodoggy is going to say her goodbyes because she has gotten very hot on my lap. Say goodbye, Zodoggy. Thank you for all the help. Oh wow, you're very hot. She is a hot dog. Sorry. All right, let's finish this up. We only got 2 minutes left. My bad. We only got 2 minutes left. So let's see this king hand, and this will be it. But yeah, man, great video. I'm really proud of you guys. The Discord has been doing so well lately in terms of quality of play. Like I think you guys have been honestly just crushing it. You know, especially in comparison to like the average reg on this site at these stakes, like that I've seen comparatively. Another set. Let's go, bro. Let's go. So we open and we get called. Love to see it. I'm just gonna go. It just sucks that you've got like no money to win here. Damn. Just bet all in. Just bet all in. Don't. I wouldn't mess around here. I mean, sure. I guess you can. It's fine. Yeah, you can check. Yeah, checking's actually great. Fine. Whatever, bro. I actually like your play way more than my play. Because then you can get people to bet like random crap like that wouldn't necessarily call your bet. So, and because you're at SPR of 0.5, there's literally no turn card that you worry about. You have the diamond for the backdoor equity. Like you're so good in this spot. So I actually like your play more than my natural instinct. But overall, very well done, my friend. Very well done. Please, like everyone else, I always say consider. I know it's already been like 8-9 days since you submitted this. You can always submit more. It may once again take me a little bit of time to get to them as the list grows. But you know, thank you for submitting it. Thank you for we'll jump into a Prodigy video. Watch stuff like this too, guys. Like just watching good players talk about theory is also a really great way to like just learn randomly. You know, that's why this was on my next to playlist, because like I try to watch stuff like this all the time. Just have it playing in the background instead of like something random and stupid that like you won't benefit from. Throw some poker on. You know, even if you're not going to get 100% out of it, you'll still get something out of it. That's what I at least hope videos like mine can even apply for people. Even if you're not watching every single action, every single hand, you can at least get a little bit out of hearing someone talk about poker. Get your mind in, or get your brain in the mental state of making good poker decisions decisions from once again a theory perspective. But yeah, awesome video, my friend. Thank you so much for showing us, and please consider making more. Same to everyone in the Discord. If you guys haven't made a video yet, we definitely encourage it. If you even have, we extra encourage it because it's always great to see people make progress. And yeah, you guys have been really crushing it all around the board. I know that not everyone is running excellent, at every point in time, especially right now. It seems like this summer, especially, people are running real bad, but it is what it is, man. We all got to push through, and that's just how the game is. But yeah, thank you all, love you all, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.